As I sit here, I'm studying, and I'm studying in Matthew chapter 26 in the Passion Translation. And I know that we hear it a lot that Jesus actually prepared. His life here on earth was already uh, in place. It was already taking place, that he was already preparing to go to the cross. He already knew that he would be crucified. And I just want to read a few verses um, that stood out to me without reading the whole chapter. Jesus, he prepared. He was preparing. He had to um, bring himself together. He had to deny himself um, just to go. In the Passover, when Jesus and his disciples had the meal, he had said, in verse 21, while they were eating, Jesus spoke up and said, "One of you is about to betray me." And so he already knew. In verse 28, he said, "For this is the blood covenant that seals the new. This is the blood that seals the new covenant. It will be poured out for many for the complete forgiveness of sins. The next time we drink this, I will be with you and we will drink it together with a new understanding in the kingdom realm." Again, preparing. He knew Judas was going to betray him. He knew his blood would be poured out. Then he goes on and tell Peter that he would deny him. So he knew that he would be betrayed by not only Judas, but Peter, and not only Peter, but all of his disciples, by saying to Peter, "Before the night is over, you will all desert me." This will fulfill the prophecy of the scripture that says, "I will strike down the shepherd and all the sheep will scatter." Then they all went to an orchard called the oil press in Gethsemane, and the disciples couldn't stay awake. And Jesus, he prayed, and when he prayed, he said, "My Father, if there is any way you can deliver me from this suffering, please take it from me. Yet what I want is not important, for I only desire to fulfill your plan." Again, he prepared your plan for me. Then an angel from heaven appeared to give him strength. He went back to his disciples and they were sleeping. And then he left for a second time to pray in solitude. And he said, "God, my Father, if there's not a way that you can deliver me from this suffering, then your will must be done." Then he went back to the disciples to see them sleeping, and they couldn't keep their eyes open. So he left them and went away to pray the same prayer for the third time. And so he constantly prepared. And um after he was done praying, he went to gather the disciples and tell them that the betrayer has arrived, and Judas had already arranged, to signal that he would identify Jesus. And so he told them, Jesus is the one whom I will kiss. So grab him. And Judas quickly stepped up to Jesus and said, Shalom, Rabbi. And he kissed him on both cheeks. Now I asked God, I said, why did they seek to kill you if they didn't even know what you looked like? They didn't even know how he looked. Of course, Jesus goes on to say, I sat with you in the temple. You didn't arrest me then, but you have come to arrest me, like the scripture says, with swords and clubs, as though I were an outlaw. But day after day he sat with them. But Judas still had to identify Jesus. And so I wonder why. And the scriptures go on to say, many false witnesses came forward, but the evidence could not be corroborated. Finally, 2 men came forward and declared, this man said, I can destroy God's temple and build it again in 3 days. Then the chief priest stood up and said to Jesus, have nothing to say about these allegations? Is what they're saying about you true? But Jesus remained silent before them. Again, preparing. So the chief priest said to him, I charge you under oath in the name of the living God. Tell us once and for all, if you are the anointed Messiah, the Son of God. Jesus answered him, you just said it yourself. And more than that, you are about to see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of God, the Almighty. And one day you will also see the Son of Man coming in the heavenly clouds. And so Jesus was convicted, guilty. And they said that he deserved the death penalty. And then they spat on his face and slapped him. And they struck him over his head with their fists over and over. And they taunted him by saying, oh, anointed one, prophesy to us which one of us is about to hit you next. And it hit me. It hit me so hard, his preparation, all he had to go through. He prayed, and he sat and ate with a disciple who would betray him. And he prayed and he prayed. And in that moment, I'm sure he knew the Father was with him, but he felt alone, meaning the people who were close to him, the men who walked with him daily, who knew him, who ate with him, who drank with him, who celebrated with him, who learned and was taught by him, couldn't even stay awoke, couldn't even stay awake before he died, before he would be crucified. And he knew, it has to be some type of preparation that, you have to go through to know that you're a man, you're fully God, but you're a man. And you know that everyone that you came with, everyone that you've been with will scatter. And so I tell you to prepare for what's ahead. Preparation is vital. It's vital to prepare for what's ahead. And after I was done reading Matthew chapter 26, I just was saying, you are holy, holy. There is no one like you. No one can do what you do. You are holy. Separated You are holy, set apart. There was no one like you. No one can do what you do. You are holy. You are holy. There was no one like you. There is no one like you. No one can do what you do. You are holy. Prepare for what's ahead.